So I'm up here at Death Track at Horsey's. Got a DHX2 on the Titan, Banshee Titan, and wasn't sure where to go with this shock, so I'm just up here going back and forth, getting familiar with low speed compression, how it's affecting the bike, where it is versus a couple of clicks up, a couple of clicks back. High speed compression, same story. Getting a feel for how this shock settings affect this bike on these trails. So once I have an idea of how everything feels, if I'm looking for something, you know, there's a hole in the performance, I know that, oh yeah, what I got out of low speed compression might fill that hole, or what I got out of high speed rebound might fill that gap there. So orientation and then tuning. So I've just been getting a little bit of feedback in the back end. I've increased the preload on the spring a touch on this 350. I've been back and forth on the low speed compression and a little bit on the high, and now I'm going back again. I'm at about, I think I'm 4 clicks in from open now on the low speed compression, so we'll see how this feels. Getting kicked around a little bit out back, potentially rebound, high speed rebound. So I've gone back up on the low speed compression at the back, but I've slowed the high speed rebound 2 clicks to see if that can calm it down. Otherwise it might be a matter of just a click or two of preload off of this shock. A little bit better, but we're still getting bounced around a little bit. I might be a little high in the pressure on the fork, but that does calm the back end from kind of on compressions and hits from standing back up again. So it's like it's sitting and staying. If I go too slow on that high speed rebound, it'll sit and wallow. So we might be fairly close there. I might be within a click or two. I might either go a click faster again if there's room for it, or settle, but we'll find out what else is going on first. So I reckon it was maybe, it almost made it feel a little like the square edges were a little more abrupt, maybe with it slightly slower. So I'm going to go faster 1 click on that high speed rebound and then play with everything else. So it's just ballpark for now, so it's not like, oh yeah, 1 click, that's right. We're just ballparking, so we'll see. So sped it back up a click on the high speed rebound, and I went softer on the fork by a PSI or PSI and a half, just to take that edge off it. Give me a little bit more grip floating into stuff like that. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I really like how progressive this rear end is. So it's not overly progressive, like my Slash, like the Canyon Spectral. These bikes that are over 25% progression are just not, it makes it hard to find an excellent rear setup. I think you end up with a compromise. I end up a little bit of a less efficient bike, a bike that's a little less efficient in order to get rid of the chop. So you got to run a little softer off the top, so it's not super rampy throughout the travel. Whereas on a bike like this, I'm assuming this is around 20%. I don't know the numbers, but I'm assuming this progression is around the 20% mark. It's kind of what it feels like. Coil, perfect. For it, I just got to find the sweet spot. I've just gone softer again on the high speed compression now. I'm just trying to sink into that back end a little bit more. I've got it in the high position. I was riding it in the low position the other day, so little change, but no, it feels all right. Feels good. this thing's good. I love this progression. I love this amount of progression on a frame for sure. Yeah, we're not dialed in yet, but off of the back of everything, this is got the perfect, it's got pedal efficiency, right on sag. It's got the perfect amount of support. There's not a lot of chop behind that sag, but there is enough to stop it from smashing through the travel. So, and you can really tune in your damping accordingly. So with one click less of high speed compression, then definitely got me to closer to where I am. So we'll keep going. So a click slower on the low speed rebound now, just to see where it dances, and I'll pay a bit more attention to the compression as well. Still just a little hard in the back, just a little resistant in the back, but it's pretty good. It's getting closer. I don't think that click of rebound really made a difference, so I'm going to go faster again. That last run was 4 out from open on the high speed compression. We're now at 1 out from open. So see if that calms that back end down a bit, or if it just opens it up to become slappy and kind of loose. Oh, it feels pretty good. Absolutely. Absolutely, baby. Still not perfect, but saying that, it's not a perfect trail. And it's riding that, so that first section that I'm dropping through, you hit the, you know, hit that left-hander, right-hander from there down. It's quite choppy as you're leaning down that left, and that's through the left-hander, and that next section is where I'm really paying attention to what the bike's doing. And it's now allowing me to steer it more or less wherever I want. So pretty sure that high-speed compression can stay open, and I'll tune around from that, because that definitely opened me up to being able to plant my feet without that back end dancing or knocking me offline. The fork's all right. It's not perfect, but it's definitely, I'm not reaching for changes on the fork, so I'm certainly doing the job. So I guess once we hone in a little closer, I'll be able to fine tune both ends. But that's pretty good. So I've gone 2 clicks faster on the high speed rebound now that high speed compression is allowing me into the travel a bit more, allowing me to be a little more supple and planted. I'm going to bring that force back out with the high speed rebound, or beginning stroke rebound, so the beginning of the stroke, allowing more force out of that rebound curve. Probably going to be a bit quick. Or it might be great. Whoa! Whoops. It's a little bit quick. Just kind of jumping off the back of things a touch. A little bit, like, a little bit, how you going? So we'll back that back off. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy to know that now. That's eliminated the, is it a little bit slow on the high speed, the beginning stroke, and a little too fast on the ending stroke? No, it's good. So I'm going to back that back off, probably just 1 click for now, and then I'll dial in the low speed rebound and reassess that high speed after I've got the low speed really where I want it, popping and playing and feedback wise. Yeah. Yep. So now I've backed off the low speed, which will probably make it a little too slappy, a little too in and out of the travel. Low speed compression, that is, not rebound. Haven't touched the low speed rebound yet. Feels quite controlled. A little bit more yeah, a little bit more soft to kind of plant your feet back into, which is nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So that's 4 clicks in from open on the low speed compression. So I could slow that rebound a touch now, the low speed rebound, and I reckon we're punching. So I've just slowed the high speed rebound down another click, and I've left everything else as is, because that was quite good. So there's so much to push off the back of everything on this bike. Everything you kind of backside, you can launch out of. You can absolutely launch out of most things without a problem. You know what, that's the line there. So I've got to scrub this tree and go off the little flat. It'll be a better line. Just so I'm not nose bonking the boulder. You know what, I liked it better with a little faster high speed rebound, I think. Definitely. Just, it's super sprightly anyway, but it tends to just fill in a little hole between bumps on the chattery stuff. So this might not seem like a hectic piece of trail, but it's bumpy the whole way and there's small rocks everywhere. So it's a really good place I've found to tune bikes, and if I can get a bike to feel good through here, it launches everywhere. So yeah, kick on. So that feels pretty good. It's not the most supple bike, I'll say that, but it ain't the rough bike either. I think you sacrifice a little bit of suppleness for that. It's the same as if you got a carbon frame. This frame is just forward momentum. There's nothing gets sucked into it. Partially suspension design, but a lot to do with this frame. So I guess you lose a little bit of that suppleness and that flex through having such a stiff frame, but control is killer. I feel like I'm in a lot of control on a trail like this where it's quite loose. It's killer. Could probably go a little more back and forth with the fork. Maybe I'll leave that to a shuttle day, just because I'm happy I can send it where that fork is. I guess the next thing to try is a full 29er at the back, but I like it. I like it as a mullet. I do like the mullet, the 27.5 out the back. I think a 29er is just a little harder to hang on to out the back. So mullet, that run there I went 3 clicks of low speed compression instead of 4, and it felt okay, it felt fine. Didn't really feel weaker and didn't feel slappy, so that was nice. You go too little compression, you get slappy. You go too hard, too much compression, you just get stiff, like boom, boom, stiff choppy. So, yeah, Banshee Titan, I would consider that baseline tuned. Yeah, baseline tuned for sure. So if I was to go to Fox, maybe I'd add a little bit of compression just because it's fast and smooth. You know, but Horsies, this is where it should be. Any steep track, this is where it should be set at. Anything gnarly and rough, this is where it should be set at. So I'm happy with that. Let's kick on.